I'm Nicole Lappin, the only financial expert you don't need a dictionary to understand. It's time for some money rehab. According to the BBC, most dancers retire between the ages of 35 and 40. So just to do that quick math for you, that's 30 years shorter than the average lifespan of the American career. As a financial person, I have a lot of questions here. Like, can you support yourself on a career with an uber short lifespan? Today, I'm talking this out with Cheryl Burke, Dancing with the Stars alum who just announced her departure from the show in November. Plus, you know me, I had to follow the money trail of Dancing with the Stars. And let me tell you, I was blown away by the insider info here, especially how much those costumes cost. Listen to this. Cheryl Burke, welcome to Money Rehab.
Thank you.
So good to see
It's
your
so
face.
good to see you in person.
I know.
I only know you via Zoom.
Okay, so you left Dancing with the Stars just recently after 500 years.
500,000 seasons, yes.
What's the Rent song? 525. Like that
Who's
seems
counting?
Like how many? 26 seasons?
Mm-hmm. I've done a total of 26 seasons over a span of 17 years.
Oh my God. And was your body just done, ready to retire?
Yeah, but it wasn't, I could have probably danced another few seasons, but it was more mentally and growth. I think I've been and I still am in a period of change and evolving as a human being. And for me, it's like growth doesn't come from comfort zones,
No, it
whatsoever. Doesn't. So though it was as scary as, I don't know if you can swear, but as shit, it was, and I'm still waiting. Like in a way, it's like, well, sometimes I still totter back. And I'm like, did I make even the right decision, or am I just needing to be patient and just let it be, because it's just never comfortable. I don't remember the last time I made a decision like this was actually moving to LA to do the show, and it was just as uncomfortable. Oh. I also know that there's so many dancers that want my job, and I'm like, I've done this. Like, there's nothing else for me to prove, and I would have hoped to maybe have grown within the family. But, if they don't necessarily see me as another role as a part of the brand, Dancing with the Stars, that's totally fine. But I need to move forward then.
So you said you were teetering back and forth, like if you made the right decision. You're not going to pull a Tom Brady, are you?
Hell no.
Not going back.
No.
Is there any celebrity you would go back for?
No. Brad Pitt.
You heard it here first.
He would never do it, though. He would never do it.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite to work with?
Emmett Smith was definitely one of my favorites. We went back in season 3 during the younger days of my Dancing with the Stars career. And then AJ McLean, Backstreet Boys, he was a good one.
Yeah. But what's so great about Dancing with the Stars is that it's created so much wealth for dancers.
Yeah.
In a space that's not typically associated with making a lot of money.
Oh, for sure.
You do it for the passion and the art and all the good, touchy-feely, warm, fuzzy things, which is great.
But then you're like, now what? Because a dancer's life is not very long. I should have retired a long time ago, because especially as a competitor, you don't really make money as a competitor. You make money because of the status, because of where you are in the world or where you're ranked. And then from there, you get students, you get to do like showcases, but still, you don't make that much money in the competitive world. It's honestly for only, and I say this, I'm not exaggerating, it's only for the love of dance. You spend money more than you make money. So with all these parents who have their kids in ballroom, I'm only speaking ballroom, that genre, ballroom dancing, competitive ballroom dancing, they work their asses off to support their kid, for you to then just win a plastic trophy. Like, there's really nothing, there's no money. Not even as a professional competitor. So,
but those cost, like all this stuff is expensive. How much is all that?
Well, I mean, nowadays it's probably, I don't even know. It's probably at least $15,000 to $20,000 for a costume. But like,
wait,
you
what?
Get sponsored because it's Swarovski rhinestones. Oh yeah.
Stop it. Wait.
And it's all made by hand.
One costume?
Probably, depending on
like those were the costumes you were wearing?
Oh yeah.
For 15 grand. Girl, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's not like you ever go to the Marriott and look at the dance competition there. That's where we have most of them. But yeah, easily. Because those are real Swarovski, right? Especially nowadays.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, because but they like one by one.
Damn. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah. The wardrobe team does not get enough props. They whip this stuff up in 3 days. It's like a turnaround of 3 days because it's a live show.
Okay. Okay, so all this stuff is expensive. Costumes are expensive. Lessons are
Dance
expensive.
lessons, travel, hotel, coaching, rental. Unless you're, again, sponsored and you're like top 7 of the world.
But it is fun to follow the money trail. So
Oh my
will you
God,
help me do that?
Yeah.
So the first thing I saw in my research
Oh, no.
is that celebrity guests make a lot more than the pros on the show. Is that right?
Not always. And everything on the internet that I've seen is so wrong. Every single article. But we also it's not favored nations anymore as pro dancers.
What does that mean?
Favored nations means that we all get paid the same, equal.
Okay.
But we did back in the day, me and the dancers. I can only speak on behalf of myself,
Okay.
obviously, and then maybe the dancers, but no more. Because I've been on for 25 seasons, and then Joe Schmo, who comes on for a season, there's no way in hell you're going to get paid the same as I am.
You shouldn't.
Right.
You put in your time.
think?
You wore a
Yes.
lot of Swarovski crystal outfits.
Lots, yeah.
Well, what it says is that for this, what I found really interesting is that the more weeks you're on, the more you get paid.
That is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this like incentive to do well.
For the celebs especially. Some dancers, though, don't. You get a guarantee sometimes.
No matter how many.
Some of them. So I can only speak for myself. I got a guarantee.
Okay. So if you were with a partner that wasn't great,
I
let's
still
say.
would get a guarantee.
Perfect.
Not
Okay.
necessarily
So
through the whole season, though,
Okay.
but for most of it.
So if you won or if you were eliminated, same.
No, if you win, it would be a lot more.
How does that work?
Because
Like bonuses?
it wasn't so the amount wasn't necessarily from week 1 of the training period, which is 3 weeks before we go live, till week 10 or 11, depending on how long the show is, right? So I'd get paid up till a certain week. And then if I continued, then I'd get more and more and more until hopefully I make the finale. But if I got eliminated first, I would still get paid up till that certain week. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it sounds like you're seriously incentivized, right, to stay on the show as long as possible. Does that sound like a healthy system to you? That sounds really stressful to me.
What do you mean?
Like, if you're going to get paid more the longer you're on, does that make you crazy? Crazier?
With my situation, I was very blessed in the fact that I always got asked back. So it wasn't a one and done. And not every dancer can say that,
What the internet says is that the starting salary for a pro is $1,600 an episode.
No.
It's way higher, hopefully.
I mean, what if I were to say way lower? Can you imagine? No, it's not that low. It's higher.
Okay. So it said, allegedly, that if you're a pro who's been on for a while, you could get like $5,000 an episode.
That is ridiculous. It's higher. That's all I'm
Like
going to say.
a
Like
lot
a lot
higher?
higher. That is ridiculous, that number. This is why I know what you're reading. It is so off. It's like I'm laughing out loud every time I see something like that, or when other articles write about that article.
So how did you determine your partner? If you're more incentivized, generally speaking, if you're generally making more money, right? The longer you stay on, are you more like, I want a good partner?
But we all want that. But I want
How
more
did you
of
pick?
a part. We don't pick our
Oh, okay.
partners. I wish we did. But no, we actually have a casting director, and then they all meet because they now know, like, for the ones that have been on, the dancers that have been on the longest, like, you understand, like, I was known as their taskmaster. Like, I was known as this person who probably doesn't know who the celebrity is and who doesn't care if you're a celebrity. So if you come into this dance studio and you say you want to win, then no bullshit. So this is who I am anyway, right? So they know not to put like this sensitive, vulnerable man with me because I would tear him apart. So I've always had sports players, not all, but most of them. And when it comes to dance ability, I'd much rather have like Jack Osborne and Rob Kardashian were 2 of my favorite dance partners because they came into the show with 0 dance experience, but they were so genuine and authentic to who they were, and they weren't scared to be vulnerable. So as a celebrity going into the show, if you are too insecure to be vulnerable, you should never sign up for Dancing with the Stars. Period. End of discussion. You need to be able to trust somebody who you may not have never met, but like, we are there for you. We're there for the celebrities. And when you don't trust them, then it's a nightmare.
Because I think like, the athletes look really fit or are really fit, but that doesn't translate into dancing.
No, it's mentally fit. It's who's mentally the fittest. It's nothing to do with physical. It's 90 seconds. If that. It's 60 seconds. Like, you can fucking do it for 60 seconds.
Maybe comedy is in the future. You're hilarious.
I could. Now that would be like me dancing ass naked. I couldn't do it. No, I could not do stand up.
And what happens if you're injured? Like, do you not get paid or anything if you're injured?
So I wouldn't like to say I broke my partner's arm. I've broken a lot of my dance partners before. Like one completely fractured his foot, another one's arm, like something snapped on live TV, and we continued, but we made the final because of it. So it depends on how injured you get. Now,
Okay.
Misty May, I forgot her last name, but she's a soccer player. She played for the U.S. team. Her Achilles popped live during rehearsal, so she had to bow out completely. But like the ones that can still have, like, if you break one arm, don't worry, you got another arm. Like we can make it happen. If you can actually get through it.
That's bananas.
This is why God made two. God made two.
Like Noah's
Two
Ark
eyes,
of the body.
2 arms, 2 legs. If one goes wrong, you got another one. We're good.
I'm dead.
This is fucking Survivor. I'm telling you, I've always compared Dancing with the Stars in a good way and bad,
Wow.
but to Survivor.
Okay, this is a really nerdy question. Do you have special insurance?
I have insured my legs. Lloyd's of London.
Yes.
Absolutely.
How much are they insured for?
A lot. Yeah.
Great.
Couple million.
Great.
I'd make more money if someone ran me over just now than if I were to.
Cheryl.
So sometimes I'd say this is a joke. I'm like, that's all right. It's fine. Go ahead. Run me over.
Oh my God. And you've always had that.
I've had it since I heard. This was like season 3 or 4. I remember Nancy O'Dell saying that she insured her legs, and I was like, yes, bitch. If your legs are insured for just sitting beautiful there underneath this desk, then my legs have to be insured too.
I love this. I mean, like Yo-Yo Ma's fingers.
I don't think
are
everyone
insured.
does this, but I mean, you pay it. It's
Boss
not
bitch.
cheap.
No.
Yeah.
The premiums are crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's like exotic. It's not
Well,
like
it's
you
not
go to
stuff-
Geico and you're like, yo, I want car insurance and leg insurance.
No, definitely not. And absolutely, like, you need health insurance first. Like, this is just like if you have some extra saved up.
I love this. I'm so happy
But this
you
is
did
this is my life.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
No.
I didn't have a normal childhood because my mom was very much a tiger, and she still is tiger mom. And so it was only dance rehearsal and A's or B's in school. Like, it was like there was no other. Or dancing when my mom and I would fight, it'd be me dancing in the middle of Union Square. I'm from the Bay Area, and making money that way.
Tell me more about that.
Oh, so my mom and I remember got in a fight over a period of time. She goes, I'm not paying for your flights to Blackpool, England, which is equivalent to the Olympics for the ballroom world. So we would always travel there every year, like end of May. And I said, okay, fine. And so I had to, me and my partner, we were in those Adidas like rip away suits
Yes.
with somebody holding a cardboard like piece and saying, help these dancers get to England. And someone was holding a boombox. I'm not kidding. This was like back in the 90s, but still,
Wow.
we made around $2,000
Just from like tips. Of
from people.
walking.
Yeah, I mean, we were dancing our hearts and souls out, but yeah,
Baby Cheryl.
I was like 13 years old or 14.
And you went.
Bye, mom. Don't need your money, mom.
And was that the first time where you were like, yeah, I can make money dancing?
No, because it was instilled in my brain that I was never going to make money because my mom's a businesswoman, so she came from like rags to riches. Long story short, she grew up in poverty in the Philippines. And then she had this idea. She was a nurse, as not all, but most Filipino women are. And she thought of developing the very first nursing agency. She really made a huge name for herself. And, she also instilled in my brain, like, how can you make money this was before Dancing with the Stars or before any reality show, but how do you make money when dancing requires you and you don't have employees working for you? You can't make money in your sleep when
She's
you're
asking,
dancing.
how do you scale your business?
Well,
because
sure.
if you're in the business, if your body is
no,
the
and
business,
she's
yeah.
right, by the way. And I'm not even saying, well, I told you so, mom. But like, yes, absolutely. Like, who knew that this was ever going to happen? Dancers were known to be backup dancers,
Yeah, I mean, or not make a lot of money. Like I went to performing arts high school and was a dancer.
You look like a dancer.
Talk about
You really
a
do.
million and a half years ago.
You're ballerina?
And I was like, but I need to make money, yes. And I was like, I can't make money. And so I'm sure your mom didn't want you to dance because you weren't going to make money. Or she assumed you weren't going to make money.
Yeah, for sure. Because it was like, unless you are... Well, at that time, it was like, no, I mean, Jennifer Lopez, but like she had just like, she's a triple threat. I definitely don't sing. Don't want to hear that. There was nothing to compare what it is now to back then.
Look at you defying those odds.
I
Okay,
mean,
girl.
I could have been a part of In Living Color, but that was before my time. I could have been a fly girl.
Hold onto your wallets. Money Rehab will be right back. And now for some more Money Rehab. So you're in this transition period. How does that feel? And I think a lot of listeners can relate to that, right? You grew up in this career, literally, and now you're potentially going to other careers or trying new verticals.
Yeah, it's not easy because I'm very much branded by Dancing with the Stars. Like, oh, it's that dancer, dance, monkey, dance. It's like, no. However, I know a lot of people who are in this business who just refuse to try and find another job or another title, or even like if they're like a child actor, it's very rare that they switch careers, even if they're not working.
Right. But you did, it sounds like.
I'm trying. It's not easy. It's definitely something that I hope one day we can switch the mentality and just celebrate more of the times that we have off. Yeah. I always have guilt or shame for just maybe I just don't know what to answer when you ask me what's next. I actually don't know.
But you can own it and be in that power. It sounds like you've done the work around it. But amen for that. It sounds like you want to put your busy badge of honor down.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily busy. It's not productive. Busy doesn't mean productive. And I'm really trying to learn that. That's hard for me to swallow.
Where do you think the shame comes from? Is it that you're always pushed to achieve? Was it the
my
tiger mom? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but it was not my mom pushing it on me. It's just seeing her hustle. And not everyone's hustle is going to be the same or valued the same. And again, like we talked about earlier before this podcast, it's really about filling yourself up from the inside out and not from the outside in. And it's so much easier said than done. And I'm by no means even close to perfecting it because I still find pleasure, or I think I find pleasure in other things now that I'm sober, like shopping or Amazon. But then, it's interesting because I've also noticed, and this is a lot of work, meaning having to observe my feelings instead of feeling brainwashed by my own thoughts, because it's not real, most of our thoughts.
I mean, we do search for external solutions to internal problems, but we all, it's
it doesn't make you feel
better.
Couple
steps forward, couple steps back. It doesn't, but it feels like a quick fix at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that sometimes even when you do this work, you have to remember that it's chaos and balance have to coexist. Because sometimes when there's chaos, you're like, oh, I'll get back to that self-discovery, self-help stuff later after this, but they're always going to exist together. It's always going to be another project. It's always going to be another thing.
It's interesting you say that because I think I am addicted to fight, flight, or freeze because that's what I know.
Yeah.
So that's my survival mechanism, but that was when I really needed to do that, when I was being sexually abused when I was younger. But now to live like this is another way of living with a very stressful mindset, but yet we still celebrate it in a weird way. And I always say, oh, I'm an adrenaline junkie, which is just a lazy answer. I think for me, it's more I don't know, though there are moments of peace and ease, and because that's just for me, that's the ultimate, right? To feel peace, to feel like I'm safe is a big thing. And so I used to relate to that feeling as being bored and stagnant, and it's actually quite the opposite. I always wanted to, and this is why I think I had such bad relationships, was because it was the roller coaster ride for me. It was kind of that is what, this is what love is.
Because it's familiar, because that chaos.
Right, and you see it also in the movies. You see it on television, and that's not a real definition of love. The Notebook isn't real.
Breaking news.
Hello.
You heard it here first. You can be addicted to the, extreme highs and lows until, you say that, you're an adrenaline junkie or you're something else. It sounds like you're evolving what that definition of yourself is.
Yeah. And that was just my way of numbing too. It's always chasing.
Yeah. I mean,
it's exhausting.
Prescribe not drugs or alcohol, but work. To
to
hide from a chronically abusive and chaotic upbringing. I saw your post about Twitch. Do you feel like in the dance community, this is a silent struggle?
I don't think it's the dance community. I think it's a community we are in as a whole. I think that people are suffering in silence. Have you ever met him?
No.
So he was this light, and I'm sure he's even brighter now, but everybody felt so connected. And I could tell, I wasn't very close to Twitch, but I did shoot a pilot with him a couple of years ago. And he's the type of, like, from what I observed as well, we had mutual friends, like people go to him for just to talk it out, you know? And I guess when this happened, I thought to myself, did he ever have somebody to talk to other than people that were his friends or family? Like I always say, maybe therapy isn't like in-person therapy isn't always for everybody. And it's honestly only for people who can afford it and it's not attainable. But there's so many resources out there. And it's not just about a one-on-one session with your therapist. Like the amount of online courses I've been doing does not cost a lot of money. If anything, it's free or they offer scholarship and you can totally do it. It's just about setting 15 to 20 minutes aside for yourself every single day. Because like really when you, and I think a lot of people are like this, including myself, like sometimes you don't put yourself first. It's like if you have time, you put yourself as a priority, and it has to be the opposite, and it's not selfish. You know, and I think that maybe because Twitch was so loving and he exuded such beautiful light, you know, and, you know, he wasn't always happy, but for the most part, I never felt heavy energy from him ever. It just makes you wonder, and it makes me so sad, though I didn't have, like I said, we weren't really close, but don't be, you know, you have no idea what people are going through. You just don't. And so when I get comments on my social media that I overshare, what I'm doing is really, it also helps other people, because I could easily listen to that or those comments, the oversharing part. And I could easily convince myself that I am oversharing and that nothing is kept for myself. But I know, because I see it, that me talking about being molested, having shame, being open with my experiences, because by no means I'm not a professional therapist, right? Like I'm not certified, and I don't plan on being one, but I do have experience. And I wish there was somebody when I was younger going through this, I wish there was someone to look up to.
We end the shows with a tip you can take straight to the bank. You've taught yourself so much about business and finance. What would you tell others that you wish you knew earlier?
Invest in yourself, and just know that the best money is when you make money in your sleep.
Money Rehab is a production of Money News Network. I'm your host, Nicole Lappin. Money Rehab's executive producer is Morgan Lavoie. Our researcher is Emily Holmes. Do you need some money rehab? And let's be honest, we all do. So email us your money questions, moneyrehab@moneynewsnetwork.com, to potentially have your questions answered on the show, or even have a one-on-one intervention with me. And follow us on Instagram @moneynews and TikTok @moneynewsnetwork for exclusive video content. And lastly, thank you. No, seriously, thank you. Thank you for listening and for investing in yourself, which is the most important investment you can make.